right, folks, we're live. All sorts of tech stuff. It's hilarious. I actually literally just went live in the wrong place a second ago. So totally my fault. Totally my fault. But happy Monday the 13th. Hope you are doing well, stuck at home. And thank you all so much for tuning in for the Your Photography Mentor podcast. Rich Coleman. I'm here with Rich Coleman, who doesn't have a wedding.
Hello.
Right now. He has a tattoo.
It's really it works though because it says Lauren. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's a very common name for when things don't work out. I mean, I hope things work out, but it's not like it's some unique name. I'll just go on Bumble or Tinder and just filter by hot Laurens. We should be okay.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I hope she doesn't listen to this. Hey.
It's me. She has no idea that I even do a podcast. It's my wife.
Okay. Oh, Mark asked Rich, did you survive the storms?
It is crazy here right now. Like it's blowing at least 35. Like I might lose power. That's how windy and crazy it is here.
Our storms came through last night and it looked really wet, but I didn't hear anything because I sleep with earplugs on because I'm a jerk.
Oh, do you? Interesting.
Yeah. That way my wife has to. Like I don't hear the
nice.
kids.
Okay. See, I get it.
I'm totally a jerk. I started sleeping with earplugs when I was traveling as a destination wedding photographer. We'd travel all over and it's always a different hotel room and stuff. And I just started putting earplugs in and like that way, when you hear the car alarms going off in New York City, the horns, the honking, all that stuff. I got
for as many times as we've slept together, I've never noticed the earplugs. So, I mean, sleep in the same hotel room.
You weren't fondling my ear, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah. No, you're usually on the next bed. I mean, until you get scared in the middle of the night.
Right.
But
and then
okay.
I come over and then we snuggle. Right.
Cool.
Oh, Mark Butler said he spent time in the bathroom. It was a blast. I'm so sorry. Hopefully everyone's okay. With all that stuff. Hey, Rich, I have a question for you. On a much lighter note, how much does a hipster weigh?
I don't
Instagram.
know.
Well,
that was good.
Did you get a lighter note?
Yeah.
All right.
I get you.
Sweet. Hey, for those of you guys who didn't notice, we're doing a podcast on a Monday today, and we're doing a live podcast. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Of course, we have a giveaway today. We'll talk about that in a second. But I've got a couple giveaways I want to talk about. The reason we're not doing the podcast on a Tuesday like we typically do is because we have a free live training tomorrow called Show Your Camera Who's Boss. It's at the same time as this, but tomorrow, okay?
Correct.
And we'll put a link to register for that in just a little teeny bit. And here's the awesome thing we're doing about that, all right, is we are, there's going to be a couple links, so I don't want to get too confusing here. We're going to be giving away a free camera tomorrow. Your choice, the winner's choice, whoever wins, winner's choice of a brand new Canon or a brand new Nikon camera. Yeah, we're gonna give away that camera, the one that's deconstructed. Rich just showed that up for those of you guys who are watching audibly.
Just kidding.
Or listening audibly. We're gonna be giving away a camera tomorrow, so that's really exciting. To one of you guys who shows up live for our Show Your Camera Who's Boss training is going to win a camera tomorrow. So
brand new camera for free.
Brand new camera for free. Tomorrow. We know that a lot of you guys are stuck at home. You are quarantining. You are, trying to be a responsible citizen and slow the spread of the COVID-19 virus. And we want to give away a camera tomorrow. So we're going to do that. And who knows, if we get enough people to show up, I'm not sure what that criteria is. If we get enough people to show up, we're going to give away 2 cameras. Okay? So it's kind of scales. It's like the more people we have show up, the more cameras we're going to give away. Possibly even 3, but I'm only committing to 1 as of right now, okay? But here's the deal. If you want to show up for that training, if you want to be, all you have to do to register for that training is literally just register at this link right now. And I just posted it, so hopefully it'll show up on the thing. Maybe Crystal or one of our team members can pin this comment if possible. And all you have to do is show up. So register and then show up tomorrow at 11 a.m. And then we're going to pick someone who's live to win a camera. And that person can pick whether or not they want a Nikon or a Canon. Okay. Now so we love giveaways. Now here is, and so there's a link. Here's a link. Linda said if she's already taken that course, that's fine. You can still come. You might hear some information that you've heard before, but you could potentially win a camera. So it's up to you. It's up to you. Do you want to win a camera or not? Are you busy or not? You want to start? You want to watch Tiger King on Netflix, or do you want to win a camera? That's up to you. But yeah, Tanis is saying already registered, so that's awesome. Awesome. Barbara says she's quarantined with 6 kids and a husband. Ooh, gosh, man.
I don't know what's worse. What's worse, the husband or the 6 kids?
Well, it depends. Depends on the husband. You know what? You guys can let us know in the comments. All right. So what are we? Hey, today, since it's editing month in the photo mentorship, and not tomorrow, but on Wednesday we'll be going live again. We're going live like every day this week. It's kind of crazy. We got lots of stuff coming up. Live podcast today, live training tomorrow for Show Your Camera Who's Boss. Live training for the photo mentorship students, where we're talking about the editing boot camp. And since we're talking about editing, I think we should give away another hard drive. What do you think?
You drive a hard bargain.
Yeah. So we're going to give away our favorite hard drive today on the podcast right now. Okay, we're going to give this away in just a few minutes. Here's how you register for this. We want y'all to share something, but I'm not going to have y'all share the podcast. I'm going to have y'all share something else. Okay. I just posted a video about tomorrow's free live training, and it should be pinned to the top of the Facebook page, but I'll send you guys a link. I want y'all to share the link to that video that I just posted. It's basically just an invite saying we want to help out as many people as we possibly can, and we're going to do a live camera training, and we're going to give away a free camera. I want you to share that link, and all you have to do to register to win the hard drive today, because we're going to give this away like in a few minutes, is share that link. And I'm going to find that link and post it in the comments in a second. Make sure I got the right one.
To be clear, you're sharing a video. So if you get confused, share the video link.
Yep. So this should be the right thing, I believe. I'm going to post this in the comments. Monica said she could use a new hard drive. Share this to win a hard drive today on the podcast. Okay?
Boom, boom.
So all you got to do is share. I just posted another link. It says share this. Okay? Share this to win.
Give me your best share impersonation.
What does Cher sing? I'm like, I was thinking of what's it called?
Kit Kat Bar.
I was thinking of Whitney Houston for a second, but like, I don't know what Cher sings. Like, can you share something with me?
Nope, I've got nothing.
Okay.
I was just trying to embarrass you. I don't care about myself. Who cares?
Thanks for sharing that, Okay, awesome. They're saying shared. So let me know in the comments if you have shared that. And then you are eligible to win a free hard drive at the end of this podcast.
Boom.
Today, so just to recap really quick, we're doing a free live training tomorrow on Show Your Camera Who's Boss, and we're giving away a camera to one person, possibly 2 people, depending on how many people show up, and the winners will be able to pick their choice of a brand new Canon or Nikon camera. Okay, this is the Canon, this is the Nikon, but we'll buy you the brand new ones. Okay. And then today we're going to be giving away a hard drive on this podcast, and you just have to share that video in the link that I just shared a few minutes ago. All right, cool. Rich, what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about the second superpower of becoming a great photographer, world-class photographer, amazing photographer. Any of the bolstering words. If you want to take more than just a snapshot. Number 2 superpower is going to be huge, and that is
you can go for
shooting.
Shooting.
So shoot. Last week, if you want to go back and listen, was seeing like a photographer. That's about this part of the photography process. Very important part.
Because the most important part of taking a picture is the 10 inches or so that's behind the camera, right? Sorry, go ahead.
Correct. And today we're talking about this part. This is a tool, and today we're going to teach you and tell you how important knowing your tool is.
That's right.
So don't be a tool. Don't be a tool. Know your tools.
What does Ryan Moser always say?
A poor craftsman blames his tools. At Ryan Moser.
He's an amazing photographer. Lives in the Outer Banks. Is he traveling right now? Is he in a van right now traveling?
No, he does own a travel van camper converting, but he doesn't go anywhere because of the corona. Although I think he could. I don't know. He has solar power. His little van is like so pimp. It's ridiculous. It has like solar panel, heat and air conditioning. It's pretty nuts. It's legit as it gets.
That's awesome. photography van. We should do that and do like mobile photography meetups. Just drive around in a cool conversion van. And
I tell you what, we're going to want to do a bunch of David Molnar meetups after this is over.
Yes.
I'll fly wherever. I'll just go wherever after this just to get out.
We do need to do some meetups, some Your Photography Mentor podcast meetups, some photo mentorship meetups. We got to reschedule our trip to. We're supposed to leave for Norway in 2 days, 3 days.
Thursday. Yeah.
Oh,
There's no way we're making that flight.
Yeah, well done. But what did you say?
Let us know in the comments where me and David should come and just hang out with you guys. Just do like a walking photo tour, just show you guys some stuff, like whatever you want. Like, where should we come to? Because if we had like 100 people say, meet me in Boston, we'd go to Boston. Yeah. We'd go wherever you tell us to come, as long as we can get enough interest.
Come to Minnesota. That's a pretty big state. So we're in Minnesota. Come to Nebraska. It's a pretty big state as well. Norway meetup, your treat, said Christina. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Mobile meetups would be fun. I don't think she means mobile Alabama. Indianapolis, okay. Colorado, awesome, cool. We'll keep the comments coming. Let us know where you'd like us to meet up, and then we can plan some meetups in the near future, because that would be a blast. That'd be awesome. Sweet. Yeah. So today, so last week we talked about how important it is. We talked about the first of the 3 superpowers, and that we're saying that last week is first, learning how to see like a photographer, because it's almost arguably, would you say it's the most important one? I mean, they're all important, but learning how to see like a photographer is extremely important, so that the other ones make sense to you, right? You think?
Yeah. Well, I mean, first you have to know what you want. And then step 2 is important, because you can't get what you want unless you know how to use the thing. Mm-hmm. You can envision something, but until you learn how to draw or paint, you're not going to be able to do it. And that's photography's art. So you kind of have to learn how to use this paintbrush or pencil you're given. Mm-hmm. You can't just magically scribble something down and get something great. Now you can take a good photo on accident, but I don't think you can take a great photo on accident.
I like that. I guess it might be possible. I don't know. I could debate you on this. Like, do you think it's possible that you could take a great photo on accident? I think it is. I think it's possible. Hey, what do you guys think? Are you Team Rich or are you Team? Sorry, putting you on the spot. Hey, you said we should argue on this podcast.
Okay, so here's my thing. If somebody standing right next to you and takes a great photo on accident.
Hold on, let's take a poll real quick. Do you think you could take a great photo on accident? Let us know in the comments. Or not. Go ahead, Rich. Sorry, go ahead.
You know what? A very wise old guy taught me once.
What's that?
These are his words now. He said, People can't tell the difference between a good photo and a great photo. Do you remember saying that? Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of
you call me old.
Yeah, you did. This was you, man. I think a lot of people think a photo is great when it's good until they figure out how to shoot and edit. Number one. So I think your responses will be biased. But I'm saying you put me or you or somebody trained in a situation where somebody got lucky, we're going to execute a lot better, because we see the shot, we shoot the shot, and we edit the shot. So that's all I'm saying. So I'm
razzing you, man. I'm 100% with you. I think it's possible to, on your automatic mode, to get lucky and take pretty great shots, because your automatic mode, what does automatic mode do? It's trying to guess what you think. It's trying to guess the brightness that you want. It's trying to guess the depth of field that you want. It's even trying to guess where you want it to focus if you leave it on complete automatic mode, right? So really your camera, I guess in theory, could guess correctly from time to time. But I think what you and I think of as a great photo would be a much higher standard than what the average person would think is a great photo, because they may think they take great photos and we may not. So then arguably...
Well, to go to your point more, your camera might get it right 1 for 1,000 times. I would rather our listeners get it right every time they try. With these 3 simple superpowers.
I agree. So here's kind of the point here. Your camera is guessing Okay, when you're shooting in that devil automatic mode, for those of you guys that actually can't see this live right now, there's this little green mode that says A, and it stands for the devil. Okay, it should be D for devil. You know, I call this. I like to say that auto is the devil. Auto mode is the devil. All right, because all it's doing is it's just guessing for you. And so here's the thing: once you learn to see like a photographer, and you actually have some opinions on this is the way that I want this photo to look and feel. Guess what? This camera has the capability, the brand new cameras these days, they have the capability to subjectively average all the bright spots and the dark spots and the gray tones and the colors and create an average, because that's what it's doing. It's literally averaging the bright and the dark and the colors, right? The dulls and the bright and the vibrant colors. And it's averaging them together to try to get a photo that is averaging. And what does an averaging photo look like? It looks pretty average to me. And is average what we're going for? Heck no. Is that what you're going for? Okay, so if your camera...
I never try to shoot average.
If your camera is trying to average out a good photo, is that what you want? Do you want an average photo? Heck no. And oftentimes it's going to produce a piece of crap photo as well. But at best, really it's going to produce an average photo. It does not know what you think. Okay, as amazing as it is, right now, we don't have the cameras wired into our brains. And actually, I don't want that because that's a little scary. But anyways, I don't want any chips in my body. I don't want any wires going into the back of my head. Like, I want to have free will and free reign and live free, okay? Subliminal messaging there, all right? I'm not being very subtle there. Don't force me to put anything in my body. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
that was such a weird place. That was a weird place to interrupt you, but I love it. Did you see that Facebook thing I sent you yesterday where Sam heard who's
Instagram?
it was another great photographer. There's now artificial intelligence culling. Did you see that? Adobe's trying to come up with it. It's pretty to stay current on something that's not coronavirus. Right. It's pretty cool that computers are getting smart enough to cull for you, but it's never going to be as good as a person. But he was saying that arguably if you took 3,000 wedding photos, this thing could cull it down to 1,000. And then you could do another cull through that.
Because it's going to take the ones that are in focus or something, or how
it's going to take stuff that's out of focus, overexposed. You can set parameters, and then it kind of machine learns to cull like you do.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's crazy.
This is still going to be better. You know what I mean? Like, no matter how automatic. That's why robots can't do human jobs, because we have the fear of death. Batman, spoiler, Batman 3 with Christian Bale. He had to take the rope off and have the fear of dying to make the jump. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody listening, but if you've seen the movie, it was great. If you haven't, I just ruined it for you. So there you go.
Don't bail on watching that one. My wife and I were watching Ford versus Ferrari last night, and it's so weird to see Christian Bale. So good. So weird to see Christian Bale. Well, we watched it together in Florida, right? Weren't you? Was it you, me, and John? Yeah, we watched it together. But yeah, so I watched it for the second time.
I sat by myself, remember? Because you guys wouldn't sit next to me.
Or was there 3 tickets and we were in separate areas or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you were just being mean. I was like a little kid being punished by myself.
I'm not that mean, I promise. I bet the theater was full. Okay, so long story short, your camera is literally trying to take an average photo. When you're shooting in automatic mode, it is averaging the bright areas, the dark areas, the vibrant colors, the subtle colors, the gray tones, all those things, and it's trying to average them together and come up with an average exposed photo, and quite frankly, an average just looking photo, okay? And it doesn't know what you see in your head. So once you learn to see like a photographer and you learn how to tell the story that you want to tell, you learn how to convey the emotions, you learn what emotions you can convey in a picture, okay? And you learn basically what the beauty that you want your viewers to see, and you learn how to frame that, how to compose it, how to tell the story, how to you learn what you want the picture to visually look like. You're learning to see like a photographer. Once you learn that, and then you're shooting on automatic mode and it's averaging all these things together, let me tell you, your camera is not going to take a great photo when it's measuring up to what you see. This is why I talk about what you see in your head. You cannot, let me repeat, you cannot take amazing photos in automatic mode. Occasionally, The averaging that your camera is going to do will produce average or above average photos. But I agree with Rich Coleman. Okay. Plus, it's going to do stuff like that where it just pops up all the time.
Yeah. What a jerk.
Yeah. You cannot take amazing photos if you're letting your camera try to average out all those things for you. Okay? So you need to learn how to see like a photographer so that you can envision what you want. That's what we talked about in last week's episode, podcast number 7, davidmolnar.com/007. Okay? And that's what we talked about last week. This week, we're talking about how you can shoot like a professional photographer. And we're going to talk about what it takes. Tomorrow I'm doing a free live training, because this is a podcast, so it's supposed to be mostly audible, right? Tomorrow I'm going to be doing a free live training where it's very visual, okay, on Show Your Camera Who's Boss. And we'll be diving deep into actually like what controls, what buttons, and what things you should change. So if you want to register for that free training, and by the way, potentially win a free camera, because we're going to be giving away a camera to one person who shows up live on, I keep on wanting to say January, but April 14th at noon Eastern time.
Correct.
Okay. Yep.
And that's pinned to the top. That's in there. So it's the link pinned. Yeah.
Okay, sweet. I'll go ahead and post that in there again, just for okay. There you go. That's the one. Lost my train of thought there.
We're trying to shoot like pros, man. Your camera's smart, and we know that. But it's not going to do what you want. I promise you that. There's nothing more frustrating than knowing what you see in your mind, and then your camera's arguing with you. Yeah. There's nothing more frustrating, especially when you're on a shoot for money or getting paid for it, and you're like there's nothing worse than like thinking that I have to deliver these trash photos to my clients. There's nothing worse at all. Yep. So if you can learn to manipulate this camera in your hand to do what you want, your life becomes better.
It absolutely does, because then you can start composing and manually controlling your camera to shoot the images that you see in your head. Now, there is that third step, and we'll be talking about that next week, and it's about editing, okay? Because, your camera is going to be guessing what you see in your head, okay? But when you take manual control of your camera, which is what we're going to be talking specifically on our free training tomorrow, then you can take the images that you see in your head and prepare yourself. You can prepare yourself for being able to photograph I'm getting all these text messages right now. I'm trying to turn them off real quick. Okay.
Just don't turn me off, David. I hate it when you do that.
There we go. Basically, when you take the photos that you see in your head, like when you can manually control your camera, you can actually take those photos and prepare yourself to be able to edit and finish those photos in a program called Lightroom, or also a program called Photoshop. So it's really amazing. Now, Becky McCubbins asked a really great question, and I kind of put this up on the screen for those of you guys who are watching. Is it okay to use autofocus with manual? Okay, because this is a thing that does get confusing. Okay, when I talk about manual mode, for those of you guys who can see, I'm talking about this mode up here when you switch it to M for manual mode. Okay, that's manually controlling the exposure, the brightness. It's controlling your aperture, it's controlling your shutter speed, and it's controlling your ISO inside your camera. That is not the same thing as switching to AF and MF. MF stands for manual focus. Okay. I am not advocating that you switch your focus to manual focus unless you need to. It is okay to leave your camera on autofocus. That is acceptable.
always focused.
Or always focus. It is okay to leave your camera on autofocus. However, there are modes that you can select where to autofocus. Okay, so I like to put it on center point focus, to where it is always focusing on the exact center, just this little point on the center of my camera. Okay, that's where I like to focus. And if I'm framing, I'll literally go like this and make sure that the center point focuses on someone's eye. And if I need to, I will get the exposure locked in by pressing this button. I'll get it locked in, and then I'll pivot just slightly to where that center point maybe is not on the eye anymore, but I got the focus right on someone's eye, if we're using a portrait as an example. Okay, so it is okay. Let me say that again. When I'm talking about manual mode, I am talking about the settings like aperture and ISO and shutter speed. Okay, manually controlling that stuff, taking off that green auto button, which is the devil, and switching it over to M for manual mode. Okay, now tomorrow's training, Show Your Camera Who's Boss, is going to go more in depth into how to actually use those controls. Okay, but it is okay to shoot in automatic focus, which typically is controlled on the lens. At least on Canon cameras, it's controlled on the lens, and sometimes Nikon, it's controlled like in the internal controls as well, which is a gripe that I have with Nikon, because I think you should just be able to toggle it on and off right there. So what's some reasons that we might want to, other than your auto mode is going to be taking an average photo, because it's literally trying to scientifically average the brights and the darks and the colors that are vibrant and the colors that are muted. Your camera is trying to take an average photo. What's some other reasons why we would want to shoot in manual mode? Rich, why would we want to take control of manual mode? What do you think?
If, let's say you're trying to shoot a silhouette or something backlit, if you're trying to do something that doesn't make sense to your camera, then your camera's going to try to do something that makes sense. It doesn't know what you're thinking. Yep. Did I pass the David Molnar test?
Yes, you did. So it's coming up with the exact brightness that you want, okay? Because, we're going to talk about this tomorrow in the free training, but basically your goal as a photographer is to get the correct exposure to produce the end result that you want, okay? So what is a correct exposure? It's a brightness that's not too bright or not too dark based on what you, as the photographer, think it should be, okay? And in Rich's example of a silhouette, anyone know what a silhouette is? A silhouette is an image where the figures are completely 100% dark and the background is bright. That's a silhouetted image. Do you have a picture of one that you're going to show?
No, I just made myself a silhouette.
Oh, yeah, you sort of did. Yeah, a silhouette is where, like let's say the sunset is behind your subjects and your subject is completely dark. They just look like a shadow. They're a silhouette, okay? You can, in that situation, your camera, by the way, would try to make them look like they're correctly exposed, which would make the entire image super bright, and it's not what you're wanting if you're wanting a silhouette. You also wouldn't be able to see the colors of the sunset in the background, right? Which is probably what you would want in that situation. If you're indoors and you have a big, huge window and you want to photograph, a baby or your kid or your pregnant wife or, like your husband who looks pregnant, if in front of the window and you want that person, your subject, to look like a silhouette with a, bright background behind them, highlighting them, then your camera is going to try to average out that picture automatically and show you an image where you can still see some of the details in your subject, and the background will be super blown out and super overexposed. But if you want to take manual control in that situation, you can get the correct exposure that you as the photographer want it to be, because the correct exposure is an image that's not too bright and not too dark based on what you, the photographer, thinks it should be. Okay? So that's an example of why you'd want to shoot in manual mode. There's 1,000 reasons that you'd want to shoot in manual mode. Here's another really applicable example. Depth of field. Depth of field, as I like to define it, is the amount of space in focus. Okay, it's the amount of distance in focus. It is not where you focus. It is the amount of distance that is in focus. Okay, so it doesn't mean, am I focusing on the background? It doesn't mean, am I focusing on my right side or my left side? The right eye, the left eye, that's not what it means. It means how much distance is in focus. So for instance, if I am focused on the subject's eyes, and the eyes are crisp, the nose is crisp, the face is crisp, and the posters in the background or the mountains in the background are all in focus, that is a large or deep or infinite depth of field. The depth is large. The depth of field, the focus area, the depth of the focus area, the depth of field is large, okay? What is a shallow depth of field? It is when the eyes are in focus, but the ears are out of focus, or the background is blurry. That is a shallow depth of field. Does your camera have any idea what depth of field that you want? Heck no. No, it doesn't. And that's why images that are shot in automatic mode are going to be average, and the depth of field is going to be average. It's not going to be what you want it to be. So many people are saying, how do I create those professional looking portraits where the background is blurry? I'm like, you need to take it out of automatic mode, and you need to manually control your camera to get the results that you want to get. Okay? So a compelling reason to shoot in automatic mode, to not shoot in automatic mode, is to get the correct exposure that you want, because your camera is just trying to average all the tones and the colors together to come up with something that is average. Okay, so if you want to shoot a silhouette, then you need to manually control your camera. If you want to shoot an image that looks really bright and airy and ethereal, you need to control your camera, because your camera is going to try to just create an average looking, normally exposed image. Okay, so that's a big reason to take manual control, so that you can control the exposure and get the brightness that you intend to take. Okay, another compelling reason, well, I'm just going to list the second one of a million of them just to recap, is so that you can get the depth of field that you want. Okay, if you want all of the mountains in the background to be in focus and your subject in the foreground to be in focus, and you want to get a deep depth of field, you need to manually set your camera to do that. Okay, and tomorrow I'm going to be teaching you about which settings you set to achieve those results. Okay, if you want your senior portrait, the beautiful brunette with the trees in the background, all that stuff for the senior portrait that you're going to be shooting, if you want that image for your subject's face to be perfectly in focus, but you want the background to look like what I call butter, or very blurry, and just this beautiful bokeh in the background, then you need to shoot at a shallow depth of field. And how do you achieve that? You achieve that when you take manual control of your camera and stop shooting in that devil mode, which is automatic. Okay? All right, so there's another reason. So we're going to give 3 specific reasons. I'm putting you on the spot here, Rich.
Great.
And I shudder to wonder if you're going to be able to answer this correctly. What's a third reason? Like I said, there's thousands of reasons. We're coming up with 3 big ones. Three big obvious ones. Why would you want to shoot in manual mode? Why else would you want to shoot in manual mode?
Like David has a course on stunning waterfalls that he shot. And I went to Iceland and shot. There's a waterfall every 10 feet in Iceland. I kid you not. A majestic, feet, awesome.
Whatever.
Yeah. But if I trusted my camera to shoot on automatic mode, I would.
Sorry, go ahead.
I thought you were like trying to give me like a code word. I was like, I was going to say shutter speed.
No, you're
a pain in my neck. No. You're a pain in my neck too. The shutter speed. Your camera is going to try to guess shutter speed, and it doesn't know if you want freeze motion, if you're trying to, get the water. It doesn't know if you want to freeze or move motion.
Exactly.
So that's a huge component of like the 3 important things of your camera. You don't want the camera to guess what you're trying to shoot with shutter speed. It has no clue. It's just trying to guess to balance an okay exposure. It doesn't know at all if you're trying to get a waterfall moving. So if you ever want to take an amazing picture where you change your shutter speed, you can't do it on automatic mode. It's just impossible. It'll never guess that right.
That's correct. Your camera can look at the light. It has a pretty cool light meter built into it. It can look at the light and say, I can take these bright spots and these dark spots and give you an average of these, of these tones, and try to get you an average looking image. That's what it does. It doesn't know the content that you have. It doesn't know if you're looking at a person, a dog, a waterfall, or a pile of poop. It doesn't know. Okay? And so it's you as the photographer to see ahead of time, I want to shoot that waterfall, and I want to show the water flowing through my image. And I want to show that motion in my image. Okay? How do you control that? By shooting in manual mode. In manual mode, you can say how much of the waterfall you want in focus. You can't do that in auto mode. How bright you want the waterfall to look. You can't do that in auto mode. And how much motion I want the water to be displaying in my image. You can't do that in auto mode. Okay? Now, let's give the opposite example. You're shooting NASCAR. You're shooting a hummingbird that's moving really fast. You're shooting kids running, which is a very, normal situation for us, and if you have grandkids or something too. Your camera doesn't know if it's looking at a pile of poop or your kid. It doesn't know. okay? And if your kid's running, it doesn't know if you want to freeze that motion or if you want to show that motion. Probably, in most scenarios, you're going to want to freeze the motion of your kids so they don't look blurry. So how do you do that? You shoot in manual mode. You don't allow your camera to take automatic control of all those things. Okay? So love it. So let's recap real quick. What are the 3 most important reasons that you are going to be shooting in manual mode, and you're going to take your camera off of that devil auto mode and switch it over to M for manual mode? The other thing is, by the way, when you're in manual mode, that flash will not pop up unless you specifically push the button to make the flash pop up. All right? This one right here. There it is. All right. It will not pop up automatically. Okay? Reason number 1. What was reason number 1, Rich? Putting you on the spot again.
So the flash doesn't pop up automatically, right?
Exactly.
No. I'm trying to remember the first one now. The first one is it doesn't know the exposure that you want in your head. It will get you an even exposure, but it most likely isn't the one that you want.
It'll literally give you an average, like mathematical average of brights and darks, and then produces an average looking image. That's right.
Boom. Number 1, exposure. It'll guess your exposure. The reason you want to shoot in manual is so you pick the exposure.
Exactly.
Because you're right. Your camera's not right. What you want to convey, whether that's an emotion from shooting a wedding picture or a picture of your kid playing soccer or a picture of your dog, you want to convey what it felt like to be there. So if you set your exposure, that's the number 1 key for any picture success, I believe.
Yep, I agree. So number 1, one of the most important reasons to get out of auto mode and into manual mode is to get the exposure that you want, because your camera does not know. Okay. The reason number 2 is, you remember number 2? Yep.
I always do this because it's like video. Like imagine there's somebody taking a picture over here by this guitar. You're setting your depth of field or the amount of area that's in focus. Now your camera 100% cannot tell what you're shooting or why you're shooting what you're shooting. It doesn't know the difference between a landscape or a portrait or a picture of a bird or a picture of a dog. So if you get to set your aperture, the amount of light coming in your lens, that changes how much is in focus. And that's, man, everything's so important. I keep wanting to say this is the most important every time we talk, but this is huge. Yep. This is absolutely huge to getting professional looking pictures. Like this is huge for if you want your pictures to go from meh to great. And I'm talking, you can have the world's crappiest lens, and if you start shooting on manual mode and setting that aperture, your pictures are going to look 1,000,000 times better.
Yep, I agree. 100% agree. Yep. So the second thing is by controlling that depth of field, controlling how much space you want to be in focus. Love it. 100%. The third reason, what was our third reason? Oh yeah, you know this. I was like, wait,
what is it? I guessed it right.
Yes.
You get to pick your shutter speed. Again, one of the biggest complaints we get within the photo mentorship for people that are still on, like the first thing they say is, I'm taking a picture at my daughter's soccer game and every picture is blurry. And I say, are you on manual mode or automatic? Because if you're in automatic mode, your camera doesn't know that you're shooting something moving and you're moving. But once you control your camera, and like tomorrow we're going to teach you how to show your camera who's boss, or make your camera you're going to be able to freeze motion.
Love
so
it.
3 is shutter speed. You get to control and make your camera work for you instead of you getting frustrated at this piece of plastic and metal.
Yep. Yeah, you are controlling how much motion you have in your image. So number 1,
the speed of this thing.
Yeah, of the shutter. Yeah, because the shutter controls the motion, whether you freeze the motion or whether you allow the motion. Like in a waterfall, where you want to allow the motion, and let's say a runner or a fast-moving kid or a hummingbird where you want to freeze that motion. Okay, so those are the 3 reasons. So you get the correct brightness, which is exposure. So you get the correct depth of field, which is the amount of space that's in focus. And number 3, so that you can freeze or allow motion inside your images. Boom, awesome. Hey, I think it's time to get the winner. Hopefully we have people that have shared this. Do we have a winner yet?
I got it. I got it, little buddy.
Okay,
And
sweet.
I know this, and again, this is designed for people listening to us, like whether, I guess, not running on a treadmill at the gym while they're at home
Yeah, exactly.
cooking dinner.
Tread lightly right here, okay?
But tomorrow you're going to see screenshots. You're going to see visual aids. You're going to see a lot of things to help you. Instead of me just telling you to put your camera on manual, tomorrow we're going to show you what that means and what that looked like. So there's a link pinned to the top for you to register to show your camera who's boss, and that couldn't be better named. I wish I named that, but
Norma
every
came
now
up
and then
with that title, actually.
Did she?
No,
Go
Norma came up with Norma.
I love Norma.
Yeah, no, she does.
But our team has picked a winner for David. What are they winning?
They're winning a free hard drive today.
5 freaking terabytes.
5 terabytes.
That's a lot of space.
It is not Terrible. It is Awesome? Terra Nova? Whatever. So, yep.
Terrifying how much space there is on that.
Terrifying. Exactly. So all you guys had to do to be eligible to win this was to share that link, share that video for the free training tomorrow. And I don't know who this winner is. I guess team is randomly
They did it. They sent it to me. I know who it is.
Okay, sweet. All right. Well, we're gonna give away that hard drive, and the winner is
Amy Wareheim.
Wareheim is she? Amy Wareheim.
Where the Heim is she?
Wareheim is she? Yep. So Amy, congrats! You've won a free hard drive. My team will make sure and reach out to you and make sure that we've got the address to mail it directly to your house. So you're going to get a 5 terabyte hard drive.
B&H is back open today after being down for over a week. So praise the Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to order some paper for my shoot, and I've been trying to go on there, and it's like, we're closed. We're closed.
We're closed. She said, thank you. So Amy, you have won the free hard drive. Congrats. Thanks for sharing, you guys. Hey, if you guys have not signed up for the free training tomorrow, you could potentially win a free camera if you sign up for the free training tomorrow. So if you have not yet, sign up for the free training tomorrow. Let me make sure and get this link, get the correct link here. Okay, triple checking this link really quick. All good. Should be good to go. Here's the link. Here's the correct link. I think it's pinned to the comments. This is the correct link. If you have not, go ahead and sign up for the free training. And if you do, and if you show up, you could potentially win a free camera, and the winner gets to pick whether they want a Canon or a Nikon new camera. So, and if we get a bunch of people on, we might even give away a second camera. And if it goes crazy bonkers, maybe we'll give away a third camera. Who knows?
We'll give away 36 cameras. Why not? Yeah.
36 cameras. That's right.
Yeah.
So awesome. Well, we love you guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the Your Photography Mentor podcast. I'm excited to see you guys tomorrow in the free training.
I'm ready. And guess what?
What?
I love you.
You too, buddy. Hey, what course are you filming? You're about to film a course this week. I'm going to put you on the spot. We didn't mention it yet.
We didn't. I'm filming a course all about flash. So if you like Rich Coleman and you want me to flash you, all you have to do is sign up for the photo mentorship.
Yep.
I wish it's not charged. My bad. Oh, there we go.
Whoa.
Do you like that? Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Yeah. So you're going to be making a course on Speedlight.
Yeah, that'll be super fun. I'm excited to film a course on something that people have in their camera bag and have no idea how to use it. It's a great tool if it's used correctly.
Yep. And that's the really expensive one. That's the Canon one. What's the other one? It's a Yongnuo.
I have a Yongnuo. Look at the build. They're identical, bro.
Mm-hmm. And what's the price difference?
I think when I bought this, it was new. I want to say it was like $400 or $500, maybe.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And this one is $60, and it works better.
And it works better. $60 and it works better.
I have 9 of these. 9. I used to have 3 of these, and I sold them all. I sold 1 and bought 8. Like, that's how stupid these are. Canon, get with it. This is dumb. Dumb, Canon. Sorry. And this works on Canon, Nikon, Sony. So Flash, if you're ready to learn Flash in a Flash, I'm making a course all about it.
And it'll be exclusively for our TPM photo mentorship students. So it's coming up really soon. We also have a new retouching course coming out. We have a new compositing course coming out. This whole month is the editing boot camp inside of TPM, right?
What have I made 100 of, it feels like, in the last 3 weeks? Presets. One-click presets.
Yeah.
He's like, you work? What do you do around here?
Exactly.
But yeah, lots of presets dropping. And if you're in the photo mentorship, you get a credit every month and you get to download a preset pack. And I'm just making preset packs on maternity, macro, products, newborn, maternity, anything else you guys want. Real estate. If you guys want any presets made, put them in the comments and I'll spend my time in the kitchen cooking them up and making them available for one-click editing
those recipes. For you. Yep, that's right. And so every month, students inside the Photo Mentorship members get new free presets, right?
Yeah.
Boom. And then we actually just dropped a bunch of new packs, but we also just gave all of our students that were members before 2 or 3 weeks ago, gave them 10 extra credits so they could download 10 bonus packs. Because each month
that's 100 presets.
Each month we give you a new credit, to just download whatever pack you want. But last month we were like, hey, let's do our own little stimulus package. Let's give everyone 10. So we like to do stuff like that. It's awesome. It's lots of fun. I think someone just asked what was the brand for the Flash? Yongnuo. I think it was Dia.
Crystal put a link. Yeah,
okay.
It's Yongnuo. YONGNUO.
I like to say Yongnuo. He says Yongnuo, and I'm like, I don't know who knows who's pronounced.
I sound more Chinese or Asian when I say it. Yongnuo. It just depends on how you say it.
Sandra said, Rich, you could be a comedian. You are a comedian. Love it. And Dawn says your presets are awesome. So fantastic. Hey, we love you guys. Have a fantastic week. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the free live training. Hope you are the winner for the camera. And we'll see y'all soon. Have a great day.
Love you.
Please subscribe on iTunes or Spotify so you never miss out on news and events. Give us a rating on iTunes or simply tell a friend about us. It helps us get the word out so we can help more people reach their photography goals.